Hello, my name is Brandy Price. Some people know me as Salamander. I am the executive director of the church known as Path of the Holy Hands Memphis, and I'm the co-chair of the Mid South Memphis DSA here in Memphis, Tennessee. Also, member of the new Black Panther Party and Black Lives Matter Memphis.
Hi, I'm Janet Chavis, and I'm the founder of National Action Against Police Brutality and Murder. It's a grassroots organization that's been pushing for nationwide action for several years now by way of a petition.
Letter Sharp from Greenville, North Carolina. I do a lot of advocate work for affordable housing and dealing with homelessness. I've also had a personal case dealing with law enforcement here in my area. So just trying to create some solutions that we can come up with to help better ourselves.
About the Tyrese Nichols. Um, Earlier this month, a young man was pulled over due to a traffic stop and was mercilessly beaten to death. He he was stopped. You start beating on him. He ran, and then they beat him to death. Um, but these people who are responsible, only five of them are charged. No one, and they're only the black cops that got charged too. So it's really weird situation. There's no one from the sheriff department who also had a hand in this beating, or the EMTs who watched this man die, or anyone was held responsible. Um, yeah, and they are all under the so-called Scorpion unit, headed by the the organized crime unit, which is under the police department, Memphis Police Department, who the head is, which is Director CJ Davis. It's dissolved. Well, the Scorpio unit is dissolved, but not the OCU. No, it's not dissolved. Like I said, they do this every time some shit like this happens. This is not the first time. Um, so basically, it's all under one umbrella, the OCU, and they just take it apart and rebrand it pretty much. Oh yes, he pretty much followed me into the bathroom and held the stall open and would refuse to let me use the bathroom. He pretty much watched me urinate and had me piss all over myself. And this was in our county commission building, so I was there that night to give my speak a piece about the moratorium on the land bank, because they turned our land bank into something that for the nonprofit industrial complex. Uh, Basically, yeah. So they basically using it as a gentrification machine. So we had members of the community that went together to go talk about it and get the moratorium going. And after I got through speaking, I went to the bathroom, and the sheriff literally followed me in there, and he said, like, "No, you can't go in there. You can't go in there. You can't go in there." I'm like, know, I had, I was just not bothering anyone, and yeah, he literally followed me to the bathroom and threatened me with arrest for using the bathroom. And that's Sherwood County deputy. Like we tried to shit, man, we tried to like get his name, but the other sheriffs didn't want to give him his name or nothing. He covered his badge, he covered his name. And that's the most recent thing that occurred. I had I had the Memphis Police Department bust down my door, put their guns in my mother's face, my brother's face, and haul us off on some no knock warrant. This like before Breonna Taylor. I literally been stopped by police for wearing red pants. Um, you know, uh, Shit. I remember from my youth, my mother being pulled over because like her job was trying to shake her, so they're having to go all the way out to down there Middle Tennessee to hook up cable, and she had no choice but to bring me with her, because like nobody's gonna watch me and stuff like that. So and we both tired, and she can't drive on the road, so she pulled over the gas station sleeping. Next thing you know, we getting harassed by the state troopers. What happened to Tyrese Nichols is not new. That's for fact. My grandmother, my father, no, my father, my grandmother, and my great grandmother told me plenty of stories like Tyrese Nichols, like how the cops can be involved with these people, or they could be robbing somebody just to sell it back to the dope dealer, or just beating somebody just for the hell of it. Shit. Hell, my grandfather, my mother's side, his father was lynched and shit like that by police. You know what I'm saying? So this is not like a new thing. Um, you know, it, yeah, yeah, this happened right down the street. This literally happened right down from the street. Like this, like I said, and as somebody who's saying that, this is not the first time. Like literally, a lot of these police are rapists. Like they rape men, they rape women, they rape children. They're the fucking, excuse my language. They're the wolves. No, they call themselves guardians, but they're the wolves. They're predators. That's what they are. Pig's a pig, man. That's what it is. Always got a snout in somebody else's business. That's just the truth. Um, you know, but it's more since we're more in an urban area, it's more condensed. Like it's more condensed. But yeah, they are gonna pull people over regardless. But state troopers see you black and shit, they got more likely to pull you over. But police will just snatch you out your car, and search you without warrant or without provocation. And yeah, they will put you on the ground.
I, I just want to say, for all the reasons that Salamander just mentioned and more, is the reason that we literally need nationwide action. Because
Yes.
these aren't new. These things been going on ever since Black folks been brought here to America. It's
Mhm.
just gone undercover.
Mhm.
And with the advent of video, now we get to see it.
Mhm.
But this is day in and day out life for many Black people all across America. I mean,
Mhm.
I think the white population or other nationalities would be shocked to know the day in and day out harassment and targeting by police that we accept. It's literally our norm. Somebody literally has to be murdered in a most savage way just to get full attention to it. I've walked with, fought with parents who lost their children at the hands of police, and police will kill somebody and go silent on you, telling you that they're investigating, so they can't give you any information as to why they killed your child. Okay, that silence can go on for weeks, months, whenever they get ready to respond to you. And when they do, they tell you, we found no wrongdoing. Okay, we cannot continue to go on dealing with these cases on a case by case basis, because even if you get a conviction for one officer tonight and he's given 25 years to life, the next day you will find yourself having to do another march and another protest because there are other police who are still doing the same thing nonstop. What you do to one officer does not stop or curb the rest of them. They still continue on nonstop, and that's because they are protected, they are defended, many times they are promoted. Initially, when they kill somebody, they get sent on a paid vacation. What in the equation gives any officer that what they are doing to people is not acceptable? It's the opposite.
Yes.
Everything that's done to them encourages them to do even more so. And you cannot even blame specific police officers because they have commanders, they have superintendents, they have
It's the
people
whole
over them.
it's the whole system.
And this is
Me
why
and my group, we pretty much print out a flyer detailing some of the history of the policing system in America. Like we got it right here. You can find it from DSA. We don't need police. In here we pretty much detail like it started off as slave patrols. These people are slave catchers. Like literally, like they just negated and changed the wordings of what they are, but they still see Black people and people period as property of the state. Like that's what it is. I'm to point my finger, but they see us as property. They don't see us as actual living beings. They see us as if you're being productive, we're going to like, hey, we're not going to leave you alone unless you're seen as a productive member of society. And you're not as productive as white people in this system. You're seen as less productive. If you're not at work or at home, then your ass need to be at one or the other. We're gonna beat you to death. Like literally, that's what it is. Like that's what it is. Like it's the truth. It's brutality made keep the masses as a whole suppressed. They pick out certain members of the population, beat on them, harass them, just to keep everybody else in line to maintain the system of capital. And it's evil. That's what it is. Evil, man. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I'm really heated right now. I just got to leaving the police station where these people were transferred to, and like literally, the police chief Davis, like she knew these people had like histories of strip searching prisoners and beating them while they're naked. These people had other charges or not charges. They don't have no charges. They have other history of abuse of people, and like just like Catholic priests, Director Davis just moved them around. You know what I'm saying? They literally just moved them around and stuff like that, and like it's like wild as hell.
I want to add to that because I agree with both of y'all with what you're talking about. And it's something that we do need to start bringing to attention because, again, I feel like we've been misrepresented on so many levels. And when people looking at us as a evil, vicious, drunk, drug addict, mental health issue people that's based off stereotypes that somebody else is creating for us, that
Propaganda.
it's giving them an opportunity to create laws and try to hold us suppressed to something that we're not. So until we go, like Danetta said, and go to those places and create laws and policies that says, hey, we're not gonna pay y'all to violate us anymore. You know what I'm saying? So what are some of the solutions? Because we as a Black people know what we go through. And a lot of times I learned that other races have no clue, because if you're taught that I'm an evil, vicious Black woman, and I'm you know what I'm saying, I'm all these stereotypes that I'm not, then you're gonna come and judge me a different way. You know what I'm saying? So until we speak out and tell them who we are, you know what I'm saying, and let our voices be heard and say, hey, you're not getting ready to force me to be somebody I'm not. You know, that's why I take this from a personal experience with having to deal with this just by going through a community. Just because my mama live a certain community, because she can't afford the 3 times the rent that's out here anymore, should not automatically label me a criminal because I live in a certain neighborhood that I was forced into. You know what I'm saying? Because if I could pick anywhere I want to live, you think I would want to live in these projects where I got to worry about my life every day?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So people in society have watched TV and Dave Chappelle and them so much that they really put all of us in that category, and that's the illusion that even politics follow now. Like I said, like earlier, Brandy, you, me, DJ Thomas, all of us was in that group that went to Washington. When we went to Washington, even they saw that we was not them people that other people was presenting us to be. You see what I'm saying? They saw like, well, damn, where the fuck is excuse me, DJ, but where is our money? Where is this investment going that we put out there? You know what I'm saying?
And
So
speaking
if
of,
people are going there telling them well, this ain't going on in our community, you know what I'm saying? These are evil, vicious people. And like I tell people all the time, I sit here like it's quiet as hell out here now. You ain't heard nothing in my background. I'm in the projects. But it's people who that don't live over here will bring their ass over here, start drama, and leave. When they leave, now I got to worry about the police coming. I got to worry about all this extra stuff that didn't have nothing to do with the people who live in this area. So sometimes it's a lot of outside influence that are coming into your areas that's destroying who you are as a whole too. You know what I'm saying? So we need to start clarifying like, what's the root of these issues that's going on in our communities? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in a community where I'm watching a freaking army truck for a police car ride in the Black community that's not riding in the white community. Why?
Yeah, legit. Like legit, our community
ride over here as if I got some fucking grenades and I can't even have my Second Amendment rights over here, rights to bear arms, which is my birthright. You know what I'm saying? For somewhere to stay because I can't afford your 3 times the rent with a job or on government assistance with disability. And this is reality that we as Black people face. You know what I'm saying? So when we do go out here in America and try to be productive in America, America don't see that. Because as long as we are considered these lazy ass motherfuckers who ain't doing shit, they can continue to take our money. However, when it comes to us being self-sufficient and saying, just leave us alone and let us police ourselves, let us govern ourselves accordingly, because we are capable of governing ourselves. It's a difference.
100.
We don't need your governmental system. We don't need your educational institutions, because the ones that our forefathers had in place for us was working fine before the integration. You know what I'm saying? When we were separate, we were fine, productive Black people. You know what I'm saying? When we integrated our systems, that's when our systems began to put us Black people into classrooms that dumbed us down. It took us from being self-sufficient, where we knew how to till to the land. We knew how to take the medicine from the herbs. You know what I'm saying? We knew how to grow our own food. We knew how to tend to our livestock. And they created this illusion that we were slaves out of it. You know what I'm saying? So if you give me an illusion that I was a slave, knowing that's how I really took care of myself, and it gave me time to be free. Because the food was growing itself. I didn't have to go to work for somebody and then go to the grocery store and then work even more for something that used to grow outside for free. You know what I'm
like
saying?
yeah, 100.
So it's
like
a
the state.
mental Willie Lynch Jim Crow syndrome that they started placing on us in these school systems to teach you, I'm gonna take you from out of school that's gonna teach you how to grow this seed into food to teach you how to feed yourself. Now I'm gonna put it into a grocery store where you got to purchase it from me to feed yourself now. You know what I'm saying? So we got to stop that mentality that has went on into our communities that dumbed us down from self-sufficiency in the beginning to needing this patrol over us. So until we get out of that slave master mentality and control with our natural resources and being able to do for self, we're never going to get out of position of them coming over here, whipping us on top of whipping us. And now we're seeing other races coming over here and getting the civil rights that were entitled to us and that our forefathers have protected for us. And we're suffering while other people are coming over here lynching the heck out of us.
Right? Like, I'm not gonna lie, like legit. Like, it was the state that said that we were poor. Like, there were some people who are still alive today, had their own land, had chickens, had all that type of stuff. And they like the state came in and say, well, you know, back in Lyndon B. Johnson time, now you're poor, you're impoverished. And now we had to make people live to the standard of whiteness. And it's like really wild as hell that we disconnected from the land. It's like really wild. It's really wild. And
I
it's
mean,
like
I've
it's
just seen
just crazy.
something they're doing in
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
Woodson, where they're getting ready, because I'm going crazy down here because I live in North Carolina where it's farmland.
Mhm.
And if I'm here where it's farmers at, and I'm not seeing no food grown, right? And I'm in North Carolina, and I done rode from all these little areas, and I'm not seeing no food at all growing. And if there's no food growing in the South, you know what I'm saying? That's why I say they're taking our kids and they're putting them on these devices so bad that working to grow food to feed yourself is obsolete. So it's killing us on top of them coming in, killing us and controlling us with these laws.
Mhm.
Good afternoon. I'm talking while I'm driving, so you got to bear with me.
Please be
Um,
careful.
okay, I've heard some of the commentary on what's going on. Um, I watched the video about the police assault, because that's what it was, right? Um, and I think that's happening much too often in our communities, and I think it has a lot to do with the culture of policing. I think it has to do with our economic position, in terms of being able to control our own economic um, situations. Um, I've heard the discussion about the land and about the ability to um, facilitate our own growing of our own property. I mean, our own food, and being able to be self sufficient in that way. And I think that is essential. My question is, how do we change that mindset? I think we all recognize, what some of the problems are, but what do we do now at this point of recognition to change those things? We have to be responsible for educating our children. We relegate the education of our children to the school systems, right? Because their educational indoctrination is about facilitating their control over the society, their control over the wealth, and and continuing their domination. Um, they have strategies of dominance that they use all the time, that we have fallen victim to through stereotypes, through turning us against each other, as a culture, as people of color, um, as people who are victims of the dominant culture, turning us against each other and having us squabble and compete with each other, based on different concepts, based on different approaches to the problem. There is not just one approach. There are several. There are different approaches to get to the solutions. So I think that instead of us fighting amongst each other and bickering and arguing amongst each other, we have to learn to accept the difference in the way we address these issues. Um, for me, I think that education and economics are fundamental to our survival. We have to start taking control over the education of our children, so that they're not indoctrinated in a stereotypical way. And I think we have to figure out how we can set up our own economic foundation, so that we can control the means of production, we can control the wealth, and build wealth, for our culture. That's how I see it.
Well, I think a good way for that to happen is one unionization. One, like literally, you need the workers to unionize. Instead of working for some business, you can start with like a co-op and stuff like that. Actually own that means of production. Like for everything else, the workers need to go ahead and start taking over for that. Like that's unionization, unionization, unionization. Democratize the enterprise. That's the catchphrase. That is the slogan for the 21st century revolutionary. Is to bring democracy into the workplace. Honestly, like because like once the workers own the means of production, they get to decide who's their manager, where's the extra funds go, who's at the top of the thing. Do we even want a CEO? No, we don't really, because like you don't want somebody different management positions controlling where your excess funds and excess capital that you generate go, because like they're gonna just put it in the back pockets. If the workers got a chance to decide, then they would definitely fund better public schools or better schools for the children. If the workers got to decide, there wouldn't be no fucking potholes ever for them work. You know what I'm saying? But
But I
one
think
thing
I
I
think
want to bring focus to this though, like we
when you
need like 40% of our budget in the city of Memphis goes to the police. That is called a paper genocide. And taking money and food and shelter from the people. You literally leaving people exposed to the elements and where they can just die and shit. No, we used to have 5 warming shelters in the city of Memphis. Now we only have 1. And you can only get that one open if you call enough people and bitch at them. Like
Yeah, I'll say
you have to
something.
really bitch to get that one open. You know what I'm saying? And
So
but it all
yeah,
starts with where our tax dollars are going. It's like
that's what I was gonna say.
taxes have
Our
always
taxes
been a
are
part
going to
of
machines.
social engineering. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want something to exist, you tax it out of existence. Like that's how our system's set up. And like this is just a starting point. It's not like a one way thing, but it's many ways to attack this issue. But we need help here in Memphis. We need some outside intervention because we have people who have sexual harassment within the police community as well. That work for the police department. And Director Davis, well, before she came to Memphis from Atlanta, she had the same problems in Atlanta, Georgia. You know what I'm saying? The same Atlanta that's they trying to build a multi-million-dollar city, mock city called Cop City, to train the police to control a citywide event. So they know what's coming down the pipeline, y'all. They know eventually what the people going to need to do is go on a general strike, like to like walk off your job. They want to beat people back into submission. So they getting Atlanta, Georgia is the first. Atlanta, Georgia's Cop City is the first one. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it is, y'all. They want y'all to know that we're slaves. We're still slaves. Like we're still owned by the state. That's what it is, and that's but like it doesn't have to be that way. So like literally, y'all, like we need to stay
So
focused on
since you said
taking
that,
that funding.
and you're aware of that, I would like to ask the question, what good is it and how does it serve us and our people if we get the best schools, the best educations, if we get unionized, high-paying jobs, if we get good medical health care and all the things we say we need, if at the end of the day, a cop can snatch you out your house, beat the shit out of you, falsely arrest you, and there's nothing that nobody can do for you. Okay,
Ah,
your family will have to get people together to protest and
Right.
demand you be released or demand they be held accountable. Okay, so at the end of the day, we are really in denial about the magnitude and the scope of who we are here in this country. You mentioned it, you said slaves, but at the same time, we are still in denial, and I can understand why, because it's a hard pill to swallow. Okay, it's almost as hard as looking at what they did to Tyree Nichols. Okay, we fed up of actually seeing the videos right about now because it's heart-wrenching. And what you would want to do, you will not do because the law says it's illegal for you to do. But that same law kills you and people who look like you each and every day and turn around and tell your family, we found nothing wrong. So we need a reality check on who we are in this country, how this country perceives us. Okay, we were never free. Okay, we was declared free by some proclamation, emancipation, but in light of the fight of our people,
Recording in
as you said
progress.
earlier, to get integrated, okay, as a result of the fight of our people to end non-discrimination, we pushed and we entered into those doors, but they never changed the game plan. The game plan was still, you're a slave, and as long as you be here, that's all you're going to do. Okay, we're going to see to it by the creation of our laws and our policies that you remain just that way. And the only way that you will ever be able to have some sort of existence here in this America is when you bow down, kowtow underneath white supremacy. That means you must conform. Okay, whatever America is saying, that's what you need to say. Even if they're saying some messed up stuff about you and folks who look like you. You have to speak that narrative, push forward their things, none of your own. Okay, you will be maid and butler here at America. I paid because you can see NFL, sports, entertainment. They got plenty of money, but they can't even open up their mouth to speak the truth concerning what's going on to their own people because they will cut their funds. That's a slave. So until we come to that type of reality, we spinning our wheels.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let me tell you, from day one, ever since we got here, that's all we ever did is make white folks rich. Okay, they even profit off of our demise. Okay, they say, oh, crime, you're violent people. We need millions and millions of dollars to keep you in check. Okay, everything we do, whether good or bad, they profit off of it. If we create anything worth anything, they steal it. Okay, so coming or going,
They steal it and sell it back to
okay,
us.
if we try to develop our own, they will smash it. Okay, they won't even let you live. And all we want to do is, can we live? Can we have
Let
our
us
own?
be.
They don't want you to have your own.
But that's because they make money off us. It's you got to realize, and this is what I had to come to terms with these days. Black people don't
was
get
in gold.
deported. We go to jail and prison because our money don't leave America. That's why we not them Africans. And I have to keep telling people that as a Black person, and I can trace my history back and ain't got no roots in Africa, except for my ancestors who went on the outside, who went up north, left their families down here and told them folks up north that we were slaves down here on the farms because they were running from fucking responsibility. Now we down south is feeling the pinch of them motherfuckers running up north, telling them motherfuckers that we come from Africa because we look alike, and that ain't the truth.
Shit.
So I gotta clear the air
reminds me
because all of us didn't come off that ship. You know what I'm saying? And until we clarify that, you know what I'm saying? Black people go to prison. Any African or any other foreigner who come over here who gets in trouble on American soil, their ass is going back to their country. This is why I can't take those statistics serious. Because if there's a system that's targeted towards to make money off of you, if there is still a bounty on Black men's head, whereas any Black man in America who gets killed by another race, he automatically go to jail to get his record clean, so it looks like he's done some time. While they set up GoFundMe accounts to get him and his family set up for life somewhere else. Then he can go and apply for another job in that town as a police officer as if he done nothing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, they move around like
things that we have to identify and start getting to the root of, because we already know what the fuck the problem is. The problem is motherfuckers coming over here trying to tell us what to do when we know what to do. People come off here making money off of us. And like she said, we're just trying to be. We're just trying to be. We're not asking for all these fancy gadgets. We're not asking for all these people to come over here and impose on us. We're not asking them to make money off some stuff that we just trying to live.
Man, call the FBI, man. Like, we need multiple people calling the FBI because the whole entire Memphis Police Department needs to be in jail. Like, that's what it is. They need to be investigated or something. Like, I want first one.
And that's not going to happen as long as we depend on them. I keep hearing that word in this dialogue is about them and what they're doing, and because we are subjugated to them. As long as there's them, that we have to ask them for reparations. We have to ask them to make decisions on our lives then we're gonna still be in the same situation. Whether we're
All right.
African or we're not African, or we're from here or we're not from here, whatever the situation is, we are not in control of our lives
Okay, I just want,
as
and
people of color.
I just want,
And we have to figure out ways to facilitate control over our education, over our economics, over our situations, our lifestyles. As long as we have to defer to them to make decisions and ask and demand, or whatever word you want to use, we are perpetual slaves.
okay, I just want to say this. Let me. I wasn't quite finished. One, there's two books I want people to read. One is Black Indian. Two is Bill Street Dynasty. Basically, the second book, the latter book, details how the Reconstruction era was started due to riots in Memphis because somebody got lynched again. Please read that up and
What's the second
spread
book
that as much
name?
as possible. But we hold Bill Street. Bill B No, Beale. Bill Street Dynasty. Then
Put
you
it in the chat. Put it in the chat.
okay, I will. And Black Indians. Also, we also not just call the FBI, call whoever. You can call Congressman Cohen. You can come here your damn self. Like literally, we need we need people to go ahead and break away from the society and cause a ruckus up here. Like feel free. We need people to come from out of town and actually get to work as well and try to go to city councilmen, know these people. We need as many people on this as possible. If we can like condense our efforts in one location, if you want to, since there's not many of us, literally we
You
can.
should record some of your stuff, Brandon. Like as you're out, go live, like get on Instagram and just go live and show people what's happening. Because that's what I had to start doing, was just going live, because for some reason people like I said, people living in an illusion. And to go live and show people like, hey, there's some real shit right here.
Oh yeah, the city,
real, like,
the city,
TV,
Memphis
I'm
is
you
not
real, like we live in a real.
Memphis not a normal urban city. Like they live, like I said, rebuild Street Dynasty and shit like that. The city is on deep control. It's on a deep listen. Like the cameras, each time we go live, they can turn it off anytime they want. Like these folks got the ability to do so. Homeland Security has an office in our downtown location, South Memphis location. Like they just now got rid of the consent decree, which prevented them from spying on people on Facebook and such. But they've been doing it before prior to that because they don't, like I said, Memphis is a distribution hub of a capital of the America of the whole country. Like if we can get things stopped, if we can get the railroads to stop or something, please somebody come down here. We need as much help as possible because you got people from New York, the Proud Boys sending people down here. You got people from all over the world coming down here to try to influence. We need other people as well. Honestly, it's no one way
to be effective is to stop buying a lot of outside products and start building in-house again. You get what I'm saying? And sharing amongst each other. Because as long as we're outsourcing everything and we got our hand out for everything and we're depending on them and we're not using in-house tools. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's how me and you linked up and we was in DC and we pulled our resources together and we don't even know each other. You get what I'm saying? Like it's shit like that, like even with DJU, you know what I'm saying? Thomas, with you, like we don't got shit, but we make shit up as we go. And that's why I say like we depending on some shit where we the force. We the cavalry.
Pretty much. That's the truth.
Yes, Queen. Miss Danetta, Queen Danetta, welcome aboard. You part of the cavalry now.
Shit. If y'all want to come down here, while the housing is cheap. If the housing price is getting steadily higher and higher and higher, come down here while it's cheap. Right for now, it's like come make some shit happen.
For real, I'm gonna book something to come down there and see you, Brandon, for real. Like DSA, because for real, this like we all we got, and if we not pulling together and bringing our resources together, man, we fucked up out here. You know what I'm saying? I'm already watching. I don't know if where y'all at. I'm really watching in the stores where I'm not seeing human interaction down here, and I'm in the South. Like we really got all daggone machines swiping our stuff. It's self-checkouts in the stores. So if they're doing away with human labor, and I'm seeing military trucks drive around, that's why I said, like, I'm looking at shit as a bigger picture as a whole. So if we're dealing with a society that's going towards, I'm doing a military towards a machinery, military
Automation.
patrolling you, as opposed to human control, and we already outside. You know what I'm saying? So we outside, and then they trying to patrol us. They already took our jobs with machines, because the lower job that was given us with degrees is cashier jobs. And if our cashier jobs are being placed with machines, if the trash man jobs are being placed with machines, you get what I'm saying?
Shit, DJ,
And I'm
don't they got those
watching
robot
the
dogs in New York?
military getting machines in our community. Like, yo, this is some shit that we need to start goddamn think about for real.
Like, don't y'all got those robot dogs in New York?
Hey everybody, hi. As DJ L7 said, I'm Dr. Chinchilla Jonicia, and I do a lot. So I do radio, TV. I'm a journalist, a reporter, news anchor, an advocate and activist, and I fight against all types of injustices in America with a strong emphasis on wrongful convictions. Yeah. So how is everyone? How are you, ladies and gentlemen?
Well, I definitely need to talk to you then.
Okay. And I invite y'all to come on. My radio show comes on tonight at 9:30. It's a call in, and I'll put the number in the chat and all for you all to call in tonight. And if you have, do any of you have Metro or T-Mobile?
Cricket.
Okay. All right. So I think you guys are good, because Metro or T-Mobile, you would have to like go to Text Now app and download another phone number or whatever to be able to call into the show. So I'm gonna put the number in the chat, and if y'all want to chime in during the show, all you have to do is press 1. And we're going to be talking tonight about, of course, about Tyree Nichols. We're going to be talking about him and that horrible it's just ridiculous. It's absolutely horrendous. So we're definitely going to be talking about that tonight on there. And we're also going to have a guest on that is running for the Common Pleas Judge in Philadelphia. And we're going to be talking about the things people need to look for when voting this primary for judges, no matter where you are, what you're supposed to look for in voting for the right judge that's going to meet your needs. So it's time out for us to have judges in office that are just convicting our Black men and women left and right, and not standing up for integrity in their own courtroom. And they're allowing these prosecutors to just make a circus of the courtroom and to railroad people into wrongful convictions and sentencing people ungodly sentences that are just too over sentenced for our Black and the brown people, especially the Black men, okay, being over sentenced like crazy. So we're going to be talking about that tonight. So y'all want to call in, chime in, talk, anybody can talk. Do is press 1. DJ L7 has been a guest on the show, and he's also called in just to chime in on the show. So yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. Yep. Yeah. Right. Yep. Right.
Somehow or another it hasn't really sunk into our heads that that is the case. I don't know how long we're gonna go on before it does, and we start thinking at that level. Because this country has done nothing but tried to destroy us ever since we got here, and all we've ever tried to do is live within and in spite of their attempts to destroy us, and it hasn't worked. It isn't working. In fact,
Mm.
over the last 10 or 20 years, they've become more blatant in the assaults and attempts against us, not just with police, but you can see what they're doing with housing. If you look at the medical community, you can look at that as well. That's another issue that hasn't really been talked about, how in a lot of communities, poor communities, they send all their student doctors there, to practice on you as guinea pigs.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Big Pharma pays doctors X amount of money to give you the tryout drugs. Oh, it didn't
Oh,
work?
yes.
Here, try this. It didn't work?
Yeah.
Oh, try this. It's like that. There's so many ways that we are being assaulted on all sides. We haven't even begun to address all of them. But I think once we get clear on what these people are trying to do and who we are, we will begin to address it in a way that really makes a difference instead of attacking the symptoms. Okay, it might be necessary to attack the symptoms. Okay, but at some point in time, we're going to have to address this on the whole and across the board because it doesn't work. If you deal with housing and you fix it, you still got other issues because the attacks are nonstop and they're on all sides. So I've been saying for the last several years, why are we playing with this? Why don't we just go for the jugular and deal with this issue across the board? Okay, because we are the people, okay, our ancestors are the ones who fought and got all the equal rights, non-discrimination laws on the books that foreigners come here, kill themselves to get here to enjoy, and we're still on the bottom. How is that? Okay, you owe our people, okay, reparations as a result of a promise, okay, because even as we were slaves, we signed up and fought in your war, okay, and we got the victory, but then you kicked us to the curb and said, you're free now, go on your own. And we've been begging and marching and pleading from that time to this and have gotten nowhere. Okay, so at no point, in no shape, form, or fashion has America showed or established that they're willing to be fair with us, despite everything that we've contributed, despite that their children, okay, are living off of the wealth of our ancestors. And you got the nerve to look at me like I'm a piece of shit? I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
So
Honestly,
we need to deal with all of that and get the story right, okay, about who's the sit on your ass, don't want to do nothing, okay? Martin Luther King talked about all the benefits and the subsidies that was given to white folks. Land was given to them, okay? Teaching to show them how to work the land. They didn't give us shit, okay? They ain't never gave us shit that we didn't fight and march and beg and plead for. Okay, so you can't look at me and talk shit about people that, oh, you're violent. Oh, you know what? I wish the fuck we was violent because this would have been over a long time ago. Okay, violent. Okay, we have every right to be violent, and we've been nothing but peaceful and cordial from the time we got here. In the face of your police murdering us and coming back and saying, "Oh, we don't see nothing wrong with that." Where do they do that at? Where? Okay, we the most peaceful, compliant people I ever seen in my life, and they still say, no, we in fear for our life. You're a savage. We don't get no breaks, no nothing. So why we keep giving them a pause, a pass, trying to understand or trying to make them understand? No, they got it right. They know who we are. We don't know who we are. They know what they took from us because they living on it right now. We don't know. And when we get clear on that, like the man said, we'll start begging, stop begging, 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 and be like, give me my shit. the civilian, let me tell you something. The civilian review board was a beautiful idea, intentions was right. But when it came to the playoff, it didn't do what it was supposed to do. Okay, because the civilian review board has no power or authority to enforce any accusation, even when they have sustained and said that the complainant is right. Yes, this officer did use excessive force. They have no power or authority to demand discipline. They can only make a suggestion. And here in our city, you know that the commission, the mayor has the ability to say, well, I hear what y'all saying, but I'm not doing that. So what is the point of the board? Okay, and that's why over the years, people no longer bother even going there because they know that's bullshit. You playing with me.
The people need
Y'all sitting up there like y'all don't even have the power to do what you say you're supposed to do. Okay, so you can have 5 people on there, good-hearted, well-intended, want to do the right thing. They ain't got the power to do it.
they need subpoena power for one.
And these are things, hold on, these are things that when somebody gets murdered by police and people march and people protest and they say, we're gonna make this policy, we're gonna create this law. And white folks say, yeah, yeah, yeah. When they say, yeah, 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 it's because it's bullshit they getting ready to pass. Because they ain't gonna let you pass nothing that's gonna really stop them from doing what they doing to you. Okay, and that's how that came about. All of Eric Garner died. Listen, worldwide attention. City shut it down. You know why they shut it down? Because they was fucking up shit. Okay, no white folks is like, oh hell no, they messing with my money. Talk to him. He was ready to plead guilty within 3 days of that protest. That was publicized. Nobody didn't read it. I don't know what happened. They had him willing to agree. He tried to make a deal. He wanted to go to federal prison instead of state prison, and that's what delayed it. But what I'm saying to you is that we have to get clear on what the situation is concerning our existence here. These people, Americans, or regular Americans, they're deluded because they've been given years and years and years of propaganda concerning us. We thugs, we hustlers, we have babies, we don't take care of it. So when police kill you, them white folks is like, good, I'm glad they got rid of you because you was a lazy bum. You didn't get a job. Every time I look on TV, I see you in handcuffs, drug bust. So, and you want me to feel sorry because police murdered one of you? I'm not impressed by this mother crying because you all cry for your kids. That's how they feel. That's what they believe because they don't know nothing about our existence and the shit we put up with day in and day night. They don't even reach the media. Just taking it with a grain of salt. Just trying to do the best I can to feed my, they don't know nothing about none of that shit.
All right. One, when I hear things about groups and stuff like that, like public committees and stuff like that, one, they need subpoena power. They need the power to be able to pull people into court. That's what I feel about that. But I really want to talk right quick about is 2 things. Is one, where's Biden in all this? Why aren't we going to him? Why not have buses lined up at the White House? Why not? Like the buck's supposed to stop with him. He's supposed to be the commander and chief. You know what I'm saying? And the second thing I want to talk about is, we constantly talk about reparations and all this stuff like that. We gotta ask, what does that look like? Like, in my mind, the United States government messed up so much, and everyone that's under them messed up so much. We need to start talking about dismantling that government, like not like literally, like slowly. They need to advocate all whatever little power they have to the people, like give up land, money, whatever, finances, and slowly break down the institution of the United States government. That's what that's what I feel in my mind that's what it needs to look like because it's not their land. Other countries may have recognized it as such, but no, it's literally organization of invaders. That's what it is, colonizers or whatever you want to call it. Um, once we get that power advocated to the people directly, we can talk about schools, we can talk about all type of things. But I feel like the first step in that is that the people who have guns in the people's faces, doing the work of the landlords, doing the work of the masters, they need to put down their guns. these police need to put down their guns, their badges, and like quit, whatever. And they don't give it to us. Maybe people need to start talking about. Maybe we all need to like walk off the job. Maybe like
There you go.
withhold our funds, withhold our effort. Like we have, like if the country were to stop, if like one major city or two that would like control keys of distribution were to stop, like the system would choke on itself. You know what I'm saying? What I mean, like it wouldn't probably take 3 days if we had like a national strike. Like that's what they're doing over Europe. Like and like people, these folks talking about raising the minimum the age for retirement to from 62, 63 to 65, like 3 years. And they in France they throwing Molotov cocktails and all this stuff like that. Like and here we doing it in Memphis, not Memphis, in the United States, from 65 to 70, and that's barely a peak from anybody. Like maybe the people need to start being able to actually defend themselves. We don't really need these guys. We don't need the police. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe the people need to start talking about actually training themselves to govern themselves and to also protect their own neighborhoods.
Let me,
And,
let me,
and honestly, from
let me
history
share,
of the United States government, they're not gonna give it up without a fight. So get
I want
ready.
to, I want to share something about what you said about us defending ourselves. Okay, I just want, yeah, all right, I'll be quick. I just wanted to point out, because I do have this nationwide demand about police across the nation, but I just want you to stop and consider this when you say we should defend ourselves. We should defend ourselves. We have rights underneath the Second Amendment, right? But try to comprehend what I'm getting ready to tell you. If you're a Black in America, right? In order for you to avail yourself of that right, the Second Amendment of rights, the rights to bear arms, even if you purchased it legally, you got the license and everything. Do you understand that in order for you to avail yourself of that right, that you are literally putting your life on the line to do it? Because police in this country kill Black men at the thought of having a gun. Okay, so
I live in Memphis, I know.
So for you to avail yourself of Second Amendment rights and you could be legally carrying it around, you would still be killed. You have to put your life on the line just to avail yourself of that right, because they are killing you, imagining that you have a gun with no gun is actually there.
Yeah.
So the question is, how do I, as a person of color, avail myself of that right without putting my life on the line? Because the way it's set up here in America, police are allowed to murder me if they think that I have a gun. So this needs to be changed. This needs to be worked out, because it means that I don't have full rights and benefits as all other Americans underneath the Constitution. Okay, so a white man, he can carry around a gun all he wants to. He's not going to be shot at. Police are not fearful of white people, okay? They're fearful of Black people. And the fear is that they have a gun.
Okay,
But your law
answer.
says that I can have a gun,
Let me answer.
okay?
But this is why when we declare for reparations, excuse me, Brandon, but when we declare our reparations, we need total separation. Give us our land, give us our natural resources, and let us govern ourselves accordingly. As long as we're still trying to fit into this stereotype and say, no, we want to, I'm gonna teach my daughter and my son that they can't protect themselves. Because like I said, I'm not getting ready to tell nobody not to walk around and protect themselves, baby. That's where you got me messed up at. Because I'm not gonna depend on no police or no outside forces to protect me when I know that they're gonna kill me instead of protecting me. So no, I'm not getting ready to go tell my people or my young generation to put no guns down. No, what we need to do is properly educate them like other races are doing their kids with guns, so that they know how to protect themselves, baby. For so long, we have lived in this society that has told us to be obedient and obey and comply. And as long as we're being obedient, we're
Yeah,
obeying,
pretty much.
we're down to less than 20% of the population. And it's probably
Yeah,
less
pretty
than
much.
that in reality. So
Here's
until
the
we
thing.
separate
When
ourselves
you
and
get,
we
when
govern
you get,
ourselves
assuming that
accordingly, and we
Let
hold
Let me give an
ourselves
answer to the question real quick, y'all.
is
I
going
just
to
want to
be
give an
given,
answer real quick.
to get reparations, you
Y'all,
are free to choose to stay here in America or go someplace else. If
Baby,
ever
I'm
we
from
receive
America. Why would
reparations,
I
and I
go
believe we
somewhere else
will,
if I'm from
you
here?
can stay
my
here in
family was
America
Cherokee.
or you
Right,
can
we
go
from
someplace
here,
else.
baby. We from here. We are
Hey,
not
my
from
folks were
another
Cherokee.
country.
Like, let
We
me
from
get
here,
let
baby.
me
We
let me
ain't
get
got
a
the
word in,
same
y'all. Let me get a
story.
word in right quick, y'all. I just want to say this. One, it's not one big ass step. You can't just
Right.
let yourself, it's stepping stones. But we do need to learn how to defend ourselves. Like
Right.
we've been like literally it's some Orwellian ass shit to like take away people's ability to defend themselves. Like
Right.
the Panthers did it. I'm not saying everything they did was right or the perfect, but there's examples of us being able to do some things. And we got to get past this propaganda of fear. Like
Right.
literally,
That we violent and we
it's,
not.
it's fear. Honestly, it's really fear. What's going on? We know these things. Like these things, I am inherently grown up to like know these things. That if you defend yourself, it's going to be a 10 toes down, all out dog fight. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? But it's just the truth. That's the truth. And like a lot of people from up north and shit like that. Like I
They
don't know
don't
what y'all
know.
got going, or maybe people too condensed and stuff like that. I don't know. But after a while, you get tired of people smacking you, telling you it's your fault. Like it's
Right.
the truth. Like
And
I'm
you
not
ain't
saying
did
I'm
nothing
not advocating for
wrong.
violence, but even if we also get our own things and our own land, we also have to be aware of like outside infiltrators and stuff like that. Like look
Exactly.
at Black Wall Street, look at all the Tulsa, Oklahoma, look at all these other places. But Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Black Wall Street are the same place. So excuse me there. But look at Robert Church in Memphis, Tennessee. Really, each time when we get our own, it gets bombed. So like when we talking about raising ourselves up, we also need to talk about beating these people down. And when I say beating them down, I mean like systematically disassemble. Like the United States government needs to be disassembled. Like that's just the truth. Like
I'll say something
no,
about
they
that.
wasn't standing. They was
We
not
got to
standing. They were
separate
not standing.
that all of us are the
They were
same.
literally like licking, taking turns, whipping this man, beating the shit out of him. Like
But this is
literally.
what I'm saying. Can I say something about that? Because this is where I always say we got to separate ourselves, because this is where we get confused that they all the same.
Pretty
Once
much.
a lot of them take an oath, they're no longer us. I've had personal experience where I get more black on black hate than I ever any other race. I've got more love from you, DJ, than I do my own kind. I've gotten more love from you than I do some people that look like me. So that's where we got to get out. And that's what I'm saying. We got to get out of this damn illusion that everybody is us and everybody is for us. And that's what's killing us as a race, because we're allowing intruders to come in and act like they're protecting us when they hate the fuck out of us. All because we don't live how they want us to live, and we're not following their law according to how they think we should live. You know what I'm saying? So I get anxious, like I said, like I love my sister right here. And when you're told that you have to learn how to be an African because you're not African, or you don't have no relation to being something you're not, but because your skin color is the same, and that is holding you in oppression, because you know damn well that you are now being held under laws that another race is being held accountable for, because they come under here under work visas and work policies. And that's why I say we got to understand how policies and politics work, because if we're not understanding that, that's how we're being identified. We're
Yeah,
getting
like people.
identified as a people who come here working under work visas and policies, who have to go by certain rules and regulations and policies that don't apply to us. So as long as we're letting them apply to us, that's why these cops come into our community. They beat the hell out of us. They hold us hostage. And now we're dealing with gentrification where we can't even afford to get back into our communities, even with jobs, even with our own businesses. Now they don't even want our money. Now we're having to force to get on government assistance. But like I said, the shit that we used to have ourselves, because people came in, I couldn't even buy land from a Black person. He sold it to the Arab. So I can't sit here and say white supremacy when I went to my brother who had the land, who didn't sell it to us, who chose to sell it to somebody else. So like I said, we got to hold ourselves accountable. We got to find out who the imposters is. And then we got to clean ourselves up and go and govern ourselves back accordingly to holding ourselves accountable like we doing right now. We checking each other. We ain't saying one is better, one is worse, but hell, we checking each other because this is where we got this. This is how change begins.
Right. Like for real, like my folks, we're Cherokee, but part Choctaw and Blackfoot. Like a lot of people don't talk about these things. It's like really wild as hell that we constantly, and like when people come over here, they're not classified as Black or white. Like, well, they class a lot of them times they classify as white, even when their skin is already darker than us. Like
Right.
literally, it's really fucked up that we don't talk about these things. Honestly, we people who are of indigenous origins or aboriginal origins, it need to be recognized and have their land returned to them. Like that's a big major step. Like right there, you can start your own church. Maybe we can start our own church, start our own religion, go back to the old ways, and like build. That's how you build schools. You like literally. There's some churches in Memphis. Like that's why I started my church, because like there's some churches in Memphis. It has their own school system. Like
I
literally.
got that from you, Brandon. You
Mhm.
said go get indoctrinated. I got indoctrinated. It's
Mhm.
time to spit out fire.
Boom. Hey y'all, I gotta go. I had some more work to be done. People are calling me. I love y'all. Please stay dangerous. Yeah. Mhm. Exactly. Like legit, exactly. Hey, if y'all want to, y'all can start your own church. Hey, or y'all can join mine. Like legit.
Brandon, we
We
need to sit down and collaborate on some stuff we can do while I got this ministry license. So let me know what I got access to and shit. You know I'm game.
shit. Like I'm trying to find a lawyer right now because we got people who want to come in, like white people who want to come in the neighborhoods. Orange Mound. Orange Mound is the oldest neighborhood in Memphis. They want to come in and feed people, but then you got black people who are elected officials saying, "No, you gotta do it through me. Like you can't come through here." Like I'm like, what the fuck is going on? What is going on? But yeah,
I went and got the whole universal pass,
you got
baby.
my number. You got
Lifetime
my number.
membership.
Yeah,
I
please.
got access now, baby. So we ain't even got to worry about it. We can
Yeah,
cut through all their red tape right now, baby, because I got us access. So just say the word and we in there.
word,
Just say the word, baby. We in
word.
there now. I got that.
You got my
I got
number.
indoctrinated
Yeah, you
to
good.
set
You
us
got my
free.
number. You got my number. Like call me tomorrow. If you want to? But
Email me,
seriously,
baby. Email me tonight.
I
Your
will.
number.
All right, but I love y'all. Please stay dangerous and stay safe and stay educated. All right.
Hey, good trouble is
Thank
always
you.
good trouble.
Good night.
Good night. Oh,
It's on change.org. It's called www.change.org, National Action Against Police Brutality. Yeah, it's been ongoing for quite some time now. And it will be forever there because I'm convinced that that is the way to go. And it needs to happen. It needs to happen. Allowing what to occur. We just had a whole conversation on that. We just had a whole conversation on that, on what's allowing it to occur. It's you know, again, if we go back to the origins and the roots of police, it was the slave patrol, and then it became the police. Okay, and then it upgraded, and like I said, as a result of the push of our people to be integrated, uh, non-discrimination rights, you know, the United States had to sort of go undercover and create policies and things that made it appear that they were welcoming and receptive of us and willing to share the cookies, so to speak. But that has not been the case. They who, there are several people that would like to march on by, as, as far as police or housing, or what are you talking about? There's a number of issues out. Right. Well, let me say this. The original idea behind the demand was not just a petition alone. The petition was to be backed up by the people in a humongous march to Washington, you know, showing that we got it in black and white. Millions of people are saying you need to deal with this, and they're here out in your front door. So what's this gonna be? Who? Who? Mhm, mhm. Well, actually, okay, I hear what you're saying. Actually, what I'm doing is a little bit beyond that, because it would literally require constitutional changes or effective, effective enforcement of the Constitution as it is written. Okay, I'll give you an example. Constitution says liberty and justice for all, right? Does it not? For all means citizens of the United States, right? Blacks are citizens of the United States, right? Do they have justice? No, they do not. In several areas, you can show and point that they don't have it. Okay, we are not protected. We are not a protected people. Several years ago, when Obama was in office, the the head of the Department of Justice, Eric Holder, got on national TV and told people how he and his office was aware that there are a Ku Klux Klan on the police force nationwide. Okay, he made the statement, no action was taken. If there was action taken, they didn't tell the public. So my point is, how can you knowingly have a hate group working within police departments across the United States and think that is acceptable and claim that we have justice? Okay, so there's, it would have to be another program that's more into this, what I'm saying, but there are several levels in which we are being violated, coming and going beyond, you know, murder is capital. Okay, that's a capital punishment. Murder is the ultimate. Sure. Mm. What do they
What
have
was
to,
those groups again? King moved to amend, and what was the other one?
what it, tell me more. Tell me, tell me more. Tell me more. What are they after? Like the changes. What are the changes that they're after? Corporate control. The United States itself is under corporate control. So when you say that, Yeah, I get that, but I wanted to know what they had on their agenda. We can talk. We can talk more about it. Same here.
No, I just appreciate you, DJ, for being able to give this platform an opportunity to voice this. It need to be done. So I just appreciate you and give you your flowers and glory tonight, King. And Miss Queen Danetta, it was a pleasure to meet you as well.
Same here. Keep going. Keep.
Oh, I'm a force to
Get
be.
at 'em.
I'm their force, baby. I'm their force. They want it. I said they talked about me in the Bible, and here I am. I just came back as a woman.
All right now. All right. Good night, y'all.
Peace.